and that too the numerical problems of first chapter and ninth chapter. You need 14 marks for passing. Similarly, in fourth chapter you are having. Welcome students. Today in this video I am going to explain some most of the important observations which I have made after analyzing the previous year's question papers and as well as the essay 1, practice paper 1 and practice paper 2. After observing all these papers, I have made a sketch for the preparation of finals. So I hope after going through this sketch, definitely 100% I can say you can clear your 10th class physics. So without wasting any time, now let us go through the sketch how to prepare for the finals. So you don't skip the video, go through the complete video so that you'll have a clear understanding. So the first observation which I made is that you have to go through the numerical problems, because most of the time he is asking the numerical problems in 6 marks. So for example, when you see the numerical problems chapter wise, in the first chapter we are having numerical problems, in the second chapter, the fourth chapter, fifth chapter and ninth chapter. So what you have to do, it is very simple, and most of the numerical problems are easy. Just simply you go through the first chapter numerical problems and write all the problems in a book. Similarly, you write all the numerical problems of second chapter, fourth chapter, fifth chapter and ninth chapters. So if you see, there are 12 chapters. Out of these 12 chapters, you are having numerical problems in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 chapters you are having numerical problems. And that too, the numerical problems of first chapter and ninth chapter. First and ninth, they are very easy. So if you go through these numerical problems like this, definitely you are going to score 6 marks. So you have to remember that you need 14 marks for passing. You need only 14 marks for passing. So if you are thorough in these numerical problems, so almost you got your 6 marks. So as I said, so when you are thorough in numerical problems, you are getting 6 marks. Now let us see the second important concept, second thing what you have to do. One more thing which I have observed is that in most of the papers he is asking ray diagrams, and if you go through the ray diagrams are in first chapter and fourth chapter. So how many ray diagrams are there? There are 6 ray diagrams in first chapter. Similarly, in fourth chapter you are having 6. Simply you have to go through these 12 ray diagrams so that you may get 6 marks or 4 marks. So basically is asking for 4 marks or 6 marks. So if you imagine that you are getting it for 4 marks, this is very important. Why? Because simply you have to be perfect in these 12 ray diagrams, which is very easy. So if you are very perfect in this ray diagrams, so definitely you are going to get 4 marks. So almost we have achieved 10 marks. First 6 marks from numerical problems and 4 marks from ray diagrams. Now when you go to the next important thing, that is the third one, simply you have to practice the tables. Generally what he is asking, he is going to give a table. In this the information will be there. After going to the table, simply you have to analyze. He will be giving some questions. 4 questions will be there. So out of these 4 questions you have to answer these questions, and these answers are in the tables. So the most important thing is that you have to go through the table until you understand the concept. And one more thing which is important is that generally in these tables 2 questions will be very tricky. 2 questions will be very tricky. Generally those who are perfect in all the concept, then they can answer these 2 questions. But what I have observed that 2 questions will be very easy. Just by looking through this table you can easily answer these 2 questions. So if you are thorough, so you will get, so you can score 2 marks out of 4. You can easily score 2 marks. So our total score is now 12 marks. So out of 14 marks you are getting 12 marks. So the next thing what you have to do is that simply, so almost you got, so now you almost got 12 marks out of 14. If we go through like this, the next fourth concept is, he is asking experimental questions or activity based questions. So that too, in this activity based, he is simply asking the material required and the procedure. So this question is for 6 marks. He is asking for 6 marks. So how to prepare for it? Simply what you have to do, just go through the activities of each and every chapter from first to 12. So here what you have to do, it is very easy. Simply you go through the diagrams of the activities. So when you go through the diagrams, just by looking at that diagram, you can write the material required. And if you are thorough enough with the activity, then you can write the procedure also. So imagine that if you are writing only the material required just by going through the diagrams, which is easy. So out of this 6 marks, at least you will be getting 3 marks. So 12 marks plus 3, how much? So you got 15 marks. And what is the one more advantage of this experimental activity or going through this diagram is that the fifth and the most important is that very easy. He is also asking the diagrams. He is telling us to draw the diagrams. In the last test or exam, we have seen that he has asked to draw the solenoid and the magnetic field lines. So simply you have to draw this diagram. So for this diagram, he has given 4 marks. So how to draw the diagram? Most of the students, they are simply drawing like this. Simply you have to mention the names. This is solenoid. These are the magnetic field lines. This is north and this is south. You have to mention the arrow marks. That's all. So if you are writing the writing the names of the diagram, or you are simply labeling the diagram, so generally you are getting 4 marks. So if you go through the diagrams of each and every chapter, so it will be helpful for this 4th step as well as for the 5th step. Simply you can write the material required as well as the diagramical part. So now if you are thorough in this, at least you will get 4 marks. So 19 marks just by going through this 5 steps, you are getting 19 marks. So in a nutshell, again I am explaining. First is numerical problems. So how much you are getting here? You are getting 6 marks. Second one is ray diagrams. Here also are getting 6 marks. Third one is table. You are getting 2 marks. Fourth one is activity. In this you are getting 3 marks. Fifth one is diagram. So in this you are getting 14. So total you are getting, and if you write at least in objective part, you are getting 3 to 4 marks in objective MCQs. So you will get 20 plus marks. So as I said before, you need just only 14 marks to pass. If you go through these steps, definitely you are going to pass the physics exam. So I hope that you have understood this concept, and try to go through these steps so that you can easily clear your physics exam. So I hope that you are able to understand what I have said, and all the best for your exams. So please go through these 5 steps. Definitely are going to score good marks. Thank you very much for watching this video.